You're listening to the Country Chat Podcast with your host, Dom. Subscribe, give a 5-star rating, and follow us on Twitter at country_chat. And stay up to date.
Hi there, you listen to the Country Chat Podcast with me, Dom. Today I got two very special guests. The names are Alex and Lisa. They're from the Northern Souvenirs. Hi guys.
Hi Dom.
Hi, morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Great.
Yeah, we're good, thank you.
Sun shining. Feeling good.
Yeah.
You've both been very busy recently with your Instagram lives and your live streams. It's been fantastic to watch.
Thank you. Yeah, we've tried to, through the lockdown, we've tried to just keep as busy as we can and keep kind of feeding that, need to play music, really.
Yeah. Totally. So,
Because, you was with Country in the UK and Bring...
Country to UK.
Yeah.
And we're doing another one next week, live.
Yeah, with live country sessions. We've just been doing the rounds really, and it's great that there's all of these platforms that you can still do that, because it's a difficult time to be in any profession at the moment, but the music industry is definitely one of those that without live gigs and places to play, it's a really tough time to be able to still do what you love doing. And it's great that there's all these platforms. A lot of venues are doing live streams and country platforms, and it's great to just be feeding that need to play music and getting your music out there and watching other people's music as well. It's great you get to see live performances of people that you'd have to usually.
And do you know what I love as well? Because obviously we just are with each other all day.
Yeah.
We don't see anyone else.
Yeah.
So I love it when we're cooking dinner or whatever and a live stream pops up and I'm like, ooh, who's this while I'm stirring my eggs or whatever?
It's great.
I tuned in with you the other day on your live stream.
Yes.
Instagram. And I was just like, oh, this is lovely. Got a new face.
It's great. You can watch a live gig in your kitchen or your living room, and it's really revolutionised the kind of music industry, I think.
I'm a big fan.
It's great.
Exactly. That's the main thing that I love, is because we, especially up north, there's not many gigs. It's all mainly down south, around London, around Brighton, around Bristol, and in York especially. I know we get a couple of gigs, like the Shires and Twinnies were supposed to come. And it's great to see so many new acts. It's brilliant. I love it.
Absolutely.
That's right. It's really good.
Main reason why I wanted to start off with the live shows is because on one of the comments we talked about your egg shaker, Lisa.
Do you know what? I have a very big confession to make, and that is that I completely forgot to bring it here. I was going to shake it for you, and I completely forgot, and it's at home. Because we're in Manchester this weekend visiting our besties. But my egg shaker, I have such an attachment.
You love shaking something, don't you?
Because, percussion is very important and doesn't get enough recognition in the country music scene.
Absolutely. No, you're so right. And usually, when we first started out gigging, you always had a tambourine.
Yeah.
And you've kind of transitioned into the egg shaker, covering all the percussion.
Yeah. all two of the percussional instruments. But you got me my red tambourine. But a tambourine is a lot when it's two of you. And we do gigs, and if people were stood near us, they'd be like, oh, you can see them. All you get is that tambourine beat. But with live streaming, we've got to be so careful, because if your internet connection isn't great, our end, the egg shaker is, it's all over the place anyway. But when it's
it's not.
If the internet buffers or whatever, oh my gosh, it sounds awful because it's completely out of time and completely offbeat. So it's a real dedication to my egg shaking craft,
and we felt the tambourine was probably a bit too much for the neighbours as well. Because that's the strange thing as well. It's suddenly a new thing to be doing a live gig and also being conscious about the amount of noise you're making.
Yeah.
The neighbour, especially when you're in kind of a terrace house or it's or in a flat.
Yeah,
you've kind
which we have been this whole time.
Absolutely. So you're trying to do it as energetically, as quietly as possible.
So when we were in London, we had a neighbour below us who we could literally hear clearing his throat. Literally.
Wow.
Just walking around must have been a pain. So when we released my page in May, we did quite a few lives.
Yeah.
And we mentioned it. We were like, we're going to have to stop now because we think the neighbours are going to kill us. So the egg shaker is me, like, finding a quiet rhythm.
Yes. Yeah.
It's brilliant. It just adds that little something to it. I love guitar, but the egg shaker, I think it's my new favourite instrument.
I think we could probably sack off guitar.
We probably could. We could just do a cappella with the egg shaker.
Just 2 vocals and an egg shaker. 2 vocals.
Maybe that could be our new thing.
We'll change our bio.
You see, you two are that good. I reckon you could pull it off. I've absolutely loved what you've been doing.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It means the world.
Honestly. Thank you, and thank you so much for reviewing.
Your review
it was so lovely.
Thank you. Niagara Falling, yes, it's such a great song. It's beautiful.
Thank you. It was. I love singing that song. And I don't mean that in a. I'm sorry. Oh, we wrote it, but like. There's just something really nice about where it sits in our lives. Absolutely. And in vocally and the lyrics. To be fair, you co-wrote on this one. Yeah. You wrote a lot of it.
Well, we usually the way we usually tend to write, and it's kind of happened naturally. We never sat down and decided how we were going to go about writing music.
No,
but Lisa tends to write the lyrics, and then I put the music to it. But, and that's because I'm a real kind of perfectionist in the sense that I will write. I've got so many unfinished songs that I write down, and I won't. I won't show them to Lisa until I feel like it's a finished song, and that never ends up happening. Yeah. Whereas Lisa's really good at just throwing it all down and then going, right, here it is. Let's work on it, and then we kind of start picking it apart and tweaking it and then put some music to it. And with this one, it just really, I think the inspiration behind this one made it so much easier to write. It just really naturally happened, didn't it?
Do we have time for a backstory?
Oh, we got plenty of time for a backstory.
Go on.
So, 3 years ago, my dad had a liver transplant.
Yeah.
Which is unreal. The fact that we can take something out of someone's body and move it into someone else's body and plumb it in is just amazing, scientifically.
Yeah.
And then emotionally, the fact that a family at a really horrendous time would agree to give their family members or friends or their organs to someone else is just, that blows my mind.
Incredible. Yeah.
And my dad had been quite ill for quite a while. From me being about 11, he'd had multiple surgeries, multiple amounts of time off. He'd had cancer twice. It was such a roller coaster. So we're all sitting in the waiting room, the family room, when he finally had his surgery. And he'd amazingly, after 15 plus years of all these trials and tribulations, he was on the waiting list for 10 days and he got a liver.
Oh, wow.
It's incredible. It was he was so lucky. It's incredible. Everything just kind of fell into place.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
And we're from Birmingham, so they live really near the Birmingham QE.
Yeah.
So that helped massively being a local. So he got a few kind of calls, false alarms, because he lives so close. They said you might get, because we know you're there and ready to go. Anyway, so fast forward, we're in the waiting area, and we're all kind of, it's 3:00 in the morning, and they obviously, before you go in, they tell you all the risks, they tell you all the percentages, and it is terrifying.
Yeah.
And because there's so many things that could happen. You could, if they get you know, to the point that they need to do the transplant and there's something not quite right, or the body rejects the liver, or, you know, you're suddenly in a situation where
they can't put the old liver back in.
You can't back in and
you wouldn't want that liver back. So basically, my mum turned to us and was like, "So if he survives this, we're going on holiday."
Yeah.
And she sat back. And we're all just like, let that sink in. And then the surgeon came out. I remember shaking his hand.
Yeah.
And he had such strong hands. Like you know when someone's got a really fierce shape. And I was like, yeah, he was in safe hands. Yeah. If this bloke can crush my little hand, he definitely did a good job. And so we saw Dad, and fast forward he made an amazing recovery.
Yeah, incredible.
It was just, he had a like genetic liver disease. It wasn't ever he wasn't ever a big drinker, which seemed so unfair.
Yeah.
It was just one of those.
It was just one of those things. So he was out of hospital within a week. He just had the most amazing recovery, and he's like a new man now.
Wow.
So anyway, we went on this amazing holiday to Niagara Falls as a family. And we were still in London. We never found time. We'd never been on a family holiday.
No, because we're both actors as well as musicians, and working every other job under the sun to kind of make those jobs
London,
work.
Never found the time. Not that it wasn't a priority. It was just like it just seemed impossible to scheduling wise to ever have time together
to go for a holiday.
So we went on this holiday, and we were at Niagara, and I remember being on the Maid of the Mist. And, like, we were just so happy, weren't we? Like, we were all so... It was like, you know when you're in the moment and you make a conscious thought of, I'm going to remember this forever?
Yeah, it was incredible.
It was just so cool.
And it put everything into perspective. You know, you're in this incredible place with the people you love, and especially when, you know, there was a very high chance that you might not have been anywhere with those people.
Yeah.
It kind of made us realise, you know, we don't have a lot of money. Yeah. We're working 12 different jobs to pay the rent and make the career we want to do work.
Yeah.
So fortunate to be in this place with the people we love.
Yeah.
That, you know, we felt, you know, we need to write this. We need to write a song. Like the song almost wrote itself.
Yeah.
You need to celebrate the little things in life, and that, you know, that love isn't defined by wealth. It's not about how much money you can give somebody or the things you can buy somebody, or you know, it's about the memories you make and those shared experiences, and being able to just be in a place and be present.
Yeah, being present.
With somebody.
My gosh.
Is
so important.
You know, you can't like your parents have both of our parents have a really, you know, great kind of moral compass in terms of family. You know, you can't family, the importance of family and love, and telling people you love them, but also that you know, you can't take that money with you.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
You know, it's about, you know, you don't want to have any regrets when you look back and you know, I was too worried about this and that and getting to this place and that promotion and this and I missed out on all that time with when I had that chance with those people. So that's where the inspiration for the
totally. Yeah. And I was when you were at drama school, you had someone come in and chat with you all, didn't you? And it was an actor who was saying, you'll miss all your mates' weddings, you'll miss all the family events because your craft requires you to, you know, miss out on everything.
Yeah, you've got to be able to drop everything
and just go
and do the job. And I just thought, you know what, I love this industry. I love what I do. It's my passion, but it's only a passion because of the people that you can share it with.
Yeah,
and that can go on that journey with you. Especially music for us is you know, it's tied up with so many memories. You can link a place. A memory or a person or a place with a song or an artist or a line or a lyric.
Yeah.
It's not, you want to share those things with those people. And
I just remember you coming home and being like, wow, I don't want to be anything like him. I don't want to miss out on
No.
And then I think that was the summer when we had, in our friendship group at uni, like 4 of our couple friends got married in the same...
consecutive weekends.
Boom, boom, boom. And we couldn't work, could we? We couldn't get any summer work because of the way that it tied in with the weddings, and we just weren't available. And we were like, well, that's just what we've got to do then. We're just going to have to make up the money somehow next month, but we're going to be at all those weddings.
We never want to look back and think, oh, we wish we'd been there.
Yeah. That's the worst thing, is looking at those photos of other people that have enjoyed something. You think, oh, I wish I did that. Why didn't I do it?
Definitely. I think the worst regret is the regret of something you didn't do.
Yeah.
I'd much rather do something and go, well, that didn't work out, or that was silly, but at least I gave it a go.
Exactly.
And at least I did it, or I was there.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Wow, there's so much more to Niagara Falling than what was on your EPK. On your press release, I've just been trying to find it now. You mentioned that the idea and the inspiration came off coming from holiday from seeing Niagara Falls, and obviously you can understand the whole sheer scale of everything. But then when you throw everything else into the mix, wow, it really does add that emotional depth to it.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that's why we love singing it so much, because it's there is so much tied into it for us. It is a real, when we sing it, it brings back that roller coaster of a time. Yeah. But then we also hope that it is also relatable for people as well. It is that the core of it is that message that, our belief that it is about making memories and shared experiences and just being with that person. It's that person or people that you can just be with. Like we're visiting, 2 of our best friends at the moment.
Shout out Georgia and Tom. We are.
We're currently using their Wi-Fi in their living room. Socially distancing, of course.
Yeah.
And we love being with them because you can just be. Yeah. Nobody's trying to fill the silence or trying, and they're the people you want to give your time to and be with. You can just be together and appreciate the little things, and nothing needs to be a big grand gesture. It's just and the shared experiences you've had and the memories, and when you can just sit and laugh about the things that you did. And it's they're the people that you want to make time for.
Yeah, exactly. The relationships and the friendships and just family in general, where you can just be yourself. I love that.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Now, I've seen on your EPK that you had a second collaboration with London and Bangkok-based producer North T. Sankum. Did I say that right?
You did.
Obviously, my page must have been the first one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Niagara Falls your second one. What's it like working with him?
He's amazing. Like it was fate. When we found each other on Facebook, didn't we?
Yeah.
And obviously we saw his name was North, and we were like shook. We were like, North? You think for Northern Souvenirs? Oh my gosh, it's fate. And he's just a great guy. He had a lot of time for us, and I mean, we can waffle, and he listened to everything that we said, and he pulled in just a great team of musicians, and he was just the perfect amount of giving great advice and listening to what we wanted and changing the plan, because you set off all these ideas at the beginning of a session and then obviously things change. And in the recording of Niagara Falling, I said this in an interview recently, didn't I? That we obviously, when you record, you do it to a click track, and it's very regimented, and it's all about like the science of the music rather than the vibe of the song. That kind of comes later. And we'd done a few takes, hadn't we? And we were like, North, we're not feeling it. And he was like, yeah, it sounds shit. This is what we want. And we kind of had a break, and he was like, do you know what? Let's just go for a take. Start to finish, I'm not going to stop you. Whatever happens, happens. Just close your eyes, pretend you're at a gig. Yeah. Just like really listen to each other and just go. And we were like, okay, cool. And we must have looked like right idiots. We like had our eyes shut, like dancing around. And we obviously, it was just 2 vocals and Alex's guitar. And we finished the take. And he was like, he came over on, the little intercom. He was like, yeah, I think we've got it.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So the kind of body or the skeleton of the track is literally all in one take.
Yeah.
That's
live.
brilliant.
Because we're live performers at our core, aren't we? We're both theatre actors and live musicians. We started off playing in little pubs and restaurants and clubs and open mic nights and busking and
Edinburgh Fringe
and doing the Edinburgh Fringe, going up and down the Royal Mile, playing on all the little pop-up busking spots, and it's that, and especially with a song as well that is so, it's a story. Like we love telling stories through music, and it's a story from start to finish, and it felt right performing it as a story from start to finish live. And I think it really helped bring across the sentiment and the emotion behind it, because we are telling that continuous story, and he was so brilliant at accommodating that and really bringing that out of us, and I think it's the sign of a really great producer, is in that he didn't push his ideas on us. He really was, we use the word collaboration because it really was.
Yeah.
He was throwing his ideas and we were throwing ideas back, and we found, the happy medium between, and he really understood where we were coming from as performers and writers, and that we wanted to tell this story.
And then he pulled the team of musicians together. He was like, I'm hearing this, I know some people, I'll make some calls. And then I'd been, and we didn't record in one kind of continuous, we didn't have like a week or anything. We did it in little sessions over
jobs and days off we had, and a couple of hours we had here and there.
Probably the EP was done in a year, wasn't it? Like on and off.
Yeah, probably. So
he was. North said, I'm hearing this music. I'm hearing this. And let's do this date and come in. And I was like, I'm working in the morning. Al, can you go and listen and meet them all? And I was like, I can't get out of this shift.
Oh no.
Teaching arts and crafts. For anyone listening in London, Art Barn is an amazing place to take your underlines. Very friendly staff. I don't work there anymore, but
they're wonderful.
We were working there. So I'm literally covered in paint, like making clouds or whatever with these little dribbly kids, obviously pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
And Alex, I'd had loads of missed calls, and I looked at my phone, and Alex in like capital letters was like, "Get here now!" And I rang him, and I was like, "What's happened? Is everything okay?" And you were literally like, I could hear the emotion in his voice. He was like, "You have to come here right now. Like, this is amazing. Can you hear?" And I could hear them. They were in the studio, and I could hear them playing through the phone. And I was like, "I'm on my way."
They were just riffing away, and it was the whole process was amazing, because it just shows the power of social media as well. There's a lot of negative aspects to social media, and you do become obsessed with it, and but there's a lot of positives as well. And we, as Lisa said, we found North, our producer, through Facebook. He was graduating from a music production course and was looking for a band to work with as kind of his first project, his first recording session as a producer, and it came at the perfect time for us. We were at the same point in our two kind of careers, and it started off as just doing these kind of rough demo tracks. We thought, this is great, we'll go in and work with him, and we'll lay down some demos, and then we've got them to send to people and to have, and that'd be great. And as we went on, the relationship, the collaboration kept building, and
blossomed.
and everything carried on building. And as Lee says, we got this call saying, I know these guys, I know these brilliant musicians, I'm going to ask them to come in, and we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know whether, who these guys would be, and so Lisa had to work, and I went along, and North had sent them our vocals and guitar, and he'd asked us, do you have a country singer or a track that is the kind of inspiration for the sound? Because we obviously knew how we, in an ideal world, would want it to sound with bass and lead guitar and drums. And so we sent a track by a country singer called Mo Pitney.
Yeah.
And it was a track called Come Do a Little Life. That's one of our favourite country songs, which again has a really similar sentiment about enjoying the little things in life and not sweating the small stuff. And we sent that track saying, this is the kind of, in an ideal world, this would be the kind of sound. It's raw, real old school country, storytelling, really, And so I walked in on the morning into the recording studio, and the three guys were there. Ed James Jordan, who was on the drums, Chris Hampson, who was on guitar, and Billy Morell, who was on bass. And, shook everyone's hand and said, lovely to meet you. And they had...
Thanks so much for coming.
They had their sheets,
They'd done charts.
They'd done charts for our song based on our track and the inspiration. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, these guys are really prepared. I thought they were just going to come in and have a bit of a jam. And okay, cool. So I went in with North, and those guys went in and, put the headphones on. And North played our vocals and guitar, and they just started playing, and I just...
You were shocked, weren't you?
I was like, this is exactly what we had in our heads.
Yeah. That's brilliant. That must have been so surreal.
Absolutely, it was really surreal, and they'd all worked together before, and they knew each other, and they'd played live together and done studio sessions together. They're really cool. They've played for some great artists and West End shows, and we just thought, this is incredible.
We were like, why are you here?
Why are you doing this? What we were doing our song. Yeah, this is crazy. And they played the first time they played the track. It was just
unreal, wasn't it?
Amazing. And they'd all, they have them having conversations like, Ed, after the bridge here, maybe if you do this little drum, and if you do this fill here, and I was thinking this lead here, and they chatted about it before, and it was incredible. And they came in, and this probably if they listen to this, they'll probably
hi guys, we love you.
Probably be laughing because they came in after they'd done about 3 takes of it, and they came in and sat down. And North said to me, Alex, have you got any feedback for the guys? Any points, anything you want to change? And I literally said, I was thinking, I need to say something really profound and clever here, and really, come across like a real. And I said, look, guys, I really wish I had something constructive and profound to say, but that was just really. That was just amazing. Like, just keep doing that.
Just do it again.
I was just so bowled over by how, they were playing on our track, and it was just incredible. And Lisa got herself over, and...
Oh, I cried by myself as soon as I arrived.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
they were really, really amazing to work with, and such brilliant guys. And, we're so privileged to have them on the track.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that must be weird. That must be such a great feeling. Not like weird in a bad way, but weird in like that shock sense. That
absolutely,
because we trained as actors. Not first. We've always been doing music stuff, but that was like our formal training.
Yeah.
Alex went to GSA and I went to Royal Scottish. And part of your training is to critique everything you do. Like, every move you make, you're going, is this grounded in truth? Am I playing this authentically? Was that technically correct? And you've constantly got this voice in your head literally annihilating you, because to be a critical artist, that's kind of a skill that you need to access. But, like, as a perfectionist, and I am too, that can totally run away with you. So... you have to check yourself, and we were in the studio and I was like, no, this is a good song, we do deserve these guys to be here. Like, it's all and it feels weird because I was there like, why are they here? What is so about us that they've come in, they've bothered to come in and do this, and you've got to quiet that voice and be like, shh.
Yeah,
it's not about you today, voice.
Yeah, just really don't second guess yourself. Really believe in that instinct that you have. I think that's what you really, because that's the one thing that sets you apart as an artist of any type, is you can do all the training and have all the techniques and go to drama school or music school or whatever it is, But actually, what sets you apart from everyone else is what you instinctively do as a performer, as an artist. Nobody else has that. And I think that's what you learn after you've done that kind of formal training, is going, right, I've got this kind of toolbox of things, but I now need to dig back out what got me there in the first place, which is what I do that nobody else does. And we chatted with the guys afterwards, and we brought a load of crisps and
donuts. I was like,
donuts and whatever, proper,
back in the day when you could share snacks.
Absolutely.
Remember that?
I can't remember it. It's so long ago.
And we said to them, like, thank you so much for coming. Like, honestly, we're so grateful that you're here doing this. And they all said, don't be daft. We're here because we loved the song, and it was something that we wanted to put our names on. We want part of this. And that was such a love. Oh wow, okay, that's it is a good it is a good song, and it is something that these guys wanted to be part of, and that was really cool.
So nice.
And we're still in touch with them all, and
Ed's had a baby.
Yeah, Ed's had a little baby, and they're great guys, and we can't wait when all of this is over and we're in a much more safe place.
Certain.
Yeah, and things can happen again. We're gonna do when we've got we've got 2 more tracks to release as a 4-track EP, and we want to do a release gig, a launch night, and those guys are gonna play on the tracks live, which would be amazing to get them all together again.
That's brilliant. That was gonna be my next question. Really, was I know you mentioned like it's going to come out on an EP. How many tracks was it going to be? Can you tell us anything about the new tracks?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'd actually love to. So we met in Lancaster at Lancaster Uni.
Yeah.
In 2011.
Yeah.
And basically, we said this the other day when we were driving. The EP is a really good summary of our time together from that point until now.
Yeah.
So the other 2 tracks, will we say the names? This is
an
exclusive.
Why not?
They're called Regent Street and Clocking Up Miles.
Ooh.
And Regent Street is named because basically when we first got together, romantically, Alex lived on Regent Street. And weirdly, his dad also went to Lancaster Uni, and we found out when Alex moved in, obviously your parents were there, and Steve, Alex's dad, was like, hang on a minute, this is the street I lived on when I was here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Lancaster is huge, but it was weird that you both lived on Regent Street. It's a very it's a really long road.
Terraced houses.
And we'd always, I'd come to you because your house was bigger and better. And I'm very, I'm a martyr, and I will make all the effort. I'm joking.
Wow.
And I was on the completely other side of town, so it was about a 20-minute walk, and it would rain every time.
Oh, it's like the rainiest.
Oh no.
It's constantly raining. So this song is literally about me walking to Regent Street in the rain.
Yeah.
And like Alex is a great cook, so he'd be cooking up something pretty special every time.
You heard it here first.
And then, but then I'm a year older, so I obviously left while you were still in Lancaster.
Yeah.
So it's kind of about that change of, we had our routine of, every whatever, like on this specific night in the rain, I'd walk to yours and we'd have our nice little date night or whatever. And then I left, and it was like, oh, it's so sad. Leaving Lancaster literally broke my heart. I'm still not over it.
Yeah, because that's where we met, and that it's where we met and fell in love. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
But it's also where we started performing together and making music together and writing together and gigging together. It's all of our best friends. We met there, and we're still friends with now.
We're in their house right now.
And everything that is everything that defines.
Yeah, it's like your defining moment. Happened
in that place, and on a lot of it happened on that street and the walk up and down that street, and I used to run an open mic night on a Thursday night in a bar in Lancaster called Dalton Rooms. And
shout out Dalton Rooms.
Shout out Dalton Rooms.
I also terrible cocktail maker, very briefly.
And that was where we started. That was the place where we started. It was a great open mic night. Such a great place to start. Trying out your material and trying out these kind of combinations and harmonies and so that's where it all started. And a lot of the time we'd go back to my house after so. And it always rained in Lancaster. It rained every day. All the time. So all of those it kind of sums up our time in that place and that part of our life in that song. So that's a really lovely song. And then
Clocking Up Miles.
Clocking Up Miles is the first song we ever wrote together.
Yeah.
And it's about travel. It's about always. So we.
It's the wedding season.
Yeah. So we met together in Lancaster, as we say, but from that point on, we were always at different parts of our life doing and living in different places. So there was a period of time where
we were long distance for
Lisa
4 years.
Lisa was living in Glasgow and I was still in Lancaster.
Oh wow!
Before that, you were down in Camber in Sussex,
near
right on the south coast, and I was still in Lancaster. And then I moved down to Guildford in Surrey. While you were
moved to London.
You were in London.
Then I moved to China.
You went to China. Yes, there was a big portion of our life together,
which wasn't physically together.
We lived in either different parts of the country or different countries entirely, and it became our whole relationship just became a series of train rides, flights, drives, bus rides, tube rides.
Yeah.
And this song is about no matter, there's a lyric in it that's got more train tickets in my pocket than loose change, because all of the money we had, we were spending on travelling to see each other. So it got to a point where we literally had more train tickets than we had, old train tickets than we had money.
Yeah.
And
we go, when you go into your wallet or whatever to get to pay for something, and you
dollars orange tickets.
Back in the day when you had a ticket and not mobile ticket. But you just have loads of tickets everywhere. They were all over the house. It was overwhelming. But it's just a song about travelling around to each other and there was verse 2. I can't remember now where we were going, but like a table seat on a train.
Yeah.
We sat down and there was a couple already sitting there. And we literally sat down and he was like, do you guys want a drink? And we were like, yeah, okay. And he put the red wine and some plastic cups. And we had the most lovely 2-hour journey with them, just drinking red wine and chatting about all sorts of stuff. And then they literally were like, well, this is us. Have a great life. And we didn't exchange contact details or anything.
No.
I don't even think we told each other our names.
No,
I think
it was
just it's one of those. I think train rides are a really they're a real incredible thing. It's almost like a vacuum in time.
Yes.
Because you have these interactions with people on trains, on platforms, or in the train carriage, and you start these conversations with people. Either it's about the book that they're reading, you say, "Oh, I've read that book before. What do you think of it?"
Or where are you going today?
Or a funny thing happens down the carriage, and you both laugh at it and acknowledge each other, and then you have a chat about it. Or you're with another couple who offer you a drink of red wine.
It was a lovely red.
It was really nice, and you strike up these conversations and have these meetings with people, these kind of moments in time that you never replicate again, and you'll probably never see that person again.
Yeah.
But you remember that moment.
Yeah.
And it was a complete chance meeting, and you have this wonderful kind of hour or 2 hours.
So nice.
And so that's a part of it as well, and these kind of people you meet on journeys. And then the kind of the tie-up of the song is the fact that no matter where you are in the world, or what journey you're on, or what flight you're on, or which motorway you're driving down, every road always leads back to home.
Yeah.
And home is wherever the people you love are.
Wherever they are waiting for you.
That's home, and there's always a way of getting back home.
Yeah.
So that's that song.
Yeah.
Which is one of our favourites to sing as well.
And we, this is another exclusive. We recorded these, we recorded Clocking Up Miles and Niagara Falling with one of my good friends, Ryan Kerwin Films. And we recorded them a couple of weekends ago at the Town and Gown Pub and Theatre in Cambridge.
Yeah.
We're going to be releasing those very soon.
Yeah, so they're kind of acoustic sessions filmed in the theatre bar there. It's where we're about to go and work. So we're about to start working as two of the assistant managers at this new venue, the Town and Gown Pub and Theatre, which is going to be a pub and theatre in centre of Cambridge.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And it's really cool, and it's still being refurbed at the moment, but it's almost finished, and hopefully we'll be able to open it very soon. So we're going to be living and working and playing music in Cambridge. And we thought the theatre bar is really cool. There's exposed brick, and there's really bright windows and lovely light. And we thought, how cool would it be to do a little acoustic session in here and play a couple of the tracks from the EP, just really stripped back, just the two of us.
Yeah.
And Ryan's brilliant filmmaker and actor, and
great.
does a lot of show reels and short scenes and voice reels. And he came and he got in contact with you, hadn't he, and said, I want to start recording musicians doing these little live sessions. And we thought, great.
We bit his hand off.
Absolutely. So we're going to be releasing those in the next few weeks. They're really cool because it's a different take on, because the tracks on the EP, as you've heard with the Niagara Falling, have the production brilliant, and there's these fantastic artists playing on them. And it really brings the whole sound to life, and it's incredible. But we also wanted to release a couple of the songs, where it's stripped back and it's kind of back to the core of what it would have been when we wrote it in one of our bedrooms or a living room or on a train or wherever it was that we did it. So that's really exciting.
Yeah. So we'll be releasing those very, very soon.
Definitely stand by my statement in the review then, saying that if anything's like Niagara Falling, it's going to be a fantastic EP. So that just sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Really excited for it. Now, you mentioned... You had a little phrase in there that I absolutely loved, and it's a vacuum in time. That'd be a fantastic song title.
Right, writing it down.
That's on the next album then.
I know it can be very difficult for long distance relationships, but it almost gives you that sense of purpose, that destination. I love the whole Clocking Up Miles, and I love Regent Street. The premise behind it all is fantastic. I love it. I'm really excited. I don't know if you can tell.
Thank you very much. It's and that's the title of the EP is going to be Next Stop, which is that kind of it ties all of the songs together, which is that traveling and always being on the road and to get to the people that you love and that we've spent so much of the last 8 years traveling in between places. But like you say, that really does. We wouldn't have inspiration for a lot of our songs if it wasn't for those scenarios. And we really do, being performers as well, we love writing songs that tell stories, and that's why country music speaks to us so much. Is that
3 chords in the tree?
It really is. It's one of the only genres where
it's not about 2 words that rhyme.
No, it's not about. It's not about rhyming, and it's not about having a catchy tune or having, a excessive amounts of production. It's about the lyrics of the song and the story that's being told, and the places and the people.
Yeah.
And I really love that about this genre of music, and it really speaks to us. And we're really lyrical people. A lot of the songs that we love, you can really relate to the lyrics and the story, and we wanted to.
And I hate it when I feel like people sometimes can use really this sounds all, I'm not articulating this well, these really big words or fancy words, and they're not accessible. But whereas I think because we've done a lot of work with kids, sometimes a child will come out with the simplest thing, like there's no big words, they're just saying what they're thinking in their gut, and you're like, that is so prolific, child.
Yeah, so profound.
Like, about using simple things and words that have a hook of emotion on them. My parents always say this. Apparently, when I was little, I was really sad. And they were like, Lisa, what's wrong? And I must have been about 3. And I was like, I just looked them dead in the face. And I was like, no smile in head. And they were shocked. They were like, oh my gosh, she's a genius. No smile in head. They were like, yeah, I know how that feels.
Yeah.
And it's that thing of, you've said something and I immediately know exactly what that feels like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I was a genius from a young age.
That's crazy. That's wow. No smiling head. That is really, really striking.
Yeah. Deep.
Yeah.
Deep.
It gets
But
you.
it is putting things in the simplest terms. You know, you don't need to. Things are so much more relatable to people if you just say it how you feel it. If you say exactly what you're thinking, and don't try and, I don't know, think of a very clever way of saying it. Just
say it.
And I think that's it. It's telling simple stories, because all of the stories in the songs are simple stories, but it's everything that's tied up in them, the emotion and the memories and the people and the places. That's what makes them.
Yeah. I think we just all try and get caught up in the moment of trying to look smart.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know, I've done it before, you know, where I've been typing a review for somebody and I'll be thinking, there's got to be a better word to use for that. And then I just end up just spurling what is actually in my head. And it usually goes all right.
Yeah, I think it's the honesty of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you can't replicate that.
Yeah.
Now, it must be so weird coming from those open mic nights in Lancaster to where you are now. It must be. You must look back and you must think, we have done a lot, and there's so much more to come.
Yeah, definitely. It is, and it is lovely looking back, because I think it's really, you know, it's that phrase of, you know, don't forget where you've come from, and we still absolutely are those. We're still the same people that did the open mic nights, and and we really ground ourselves in that, and we're still, you know, it really shaped us because we didn't, you know, we worked, you know, we started at that kind of, not the, I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase it, you know, it's the start of that journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
You doing the open mic nights and busking is.
So literally our first duo was
Go on.
oh gosh, I'm cringing. So it was in a really lovely tapas restaurant in Lancaster called
1725.
1725. What did I just say?
You just love the band.
Four numbers was clearly
too many. You say it again.
1725.
That one. We were there.
Yeah.
And Alex already did solo stuff there. And then it was like I feel like it was a Thursday night and the gig was on a Friday, and the manager texted you saying, is there any chance that you and Lisa can do something together? Do you know any Spanish songs? And he was like, yeah, sure. Of course we do. We knew like one.
La Bamba.
So basically, literally, and this is like pre-Egg Shaker days, so we don't have that glory to like ride on. So we're literally sitting there. These lovely people are having this very posh, gorgeous Spanish tapas, really feeling the vibes. They've got their sangria, and then there's me and you singing like.
We must have recycled the same 5 songs
a bit of
for
Ricky
about 2
Martin.
hours. Yeah, Living the La Vida Loca was one of the. We were really clutching at straws, but it was a real baptism of fire. It really was a real baptism of fire, because okay, wow.
I'm blushing just thinking about us doing that.
We've somehow lagged our way through a 2-hour gig with about 5 or 6 songs.
Yeah.
We really need to sit down and it really, you know, and then we started, you know, learning some covers and it really was a baptism of fire, and I think it's a great. It's bringing back horrible memories, isn't it?
Singing it like very seriously.
But that's why it's great doing. But it's great to do busking. It's great to do. I would recommend it to any young musician. It's the best way to get out there, because you know, getting on the street and doing a bit of busking or doing an open mic night really does throw you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You get instant feedback. You know, there's nothing more honest than people on the street. You know, they will. You know, they'll tell you what they think, and sometimes it's a real eye opener, and sometimes it's really life affirming. You know, if you get a few people gathered around you who really love what they can hear, or an open mic night, if you try a new song and somebody says to you, "I love that, that's great," you know, keep writing, or should we write something together, or you know, it's the perfect way to start doing it, and it really builds your confidence, and there's such supportive atmospheres, especially open mic nights. I've run a few in different cities at different bars, and it's such a great way to go and try out this new material, or new combinations, or new duos or bands, and you're surrounded by like-minded people who have been there and can give you really honest feedback and support you. You can come back next week and try again. And
definitely.
It's really prepared us for then doing bigger gigs at bigger venues and writing music and recording music. And, you know, I wouldn't change. No. You know, it was ropey to start with. 5 Spanish songs in a tapas bar to, you know, it's...
Oh, you'll have to play that on your next live gig, your next live stream.
Vida Lope.
Maybe we should.
It might bring back too many haunting memories. But we... was such a great fun. We loved it. We even though we got off the back of it and went, wow, okay, we just about managed to scrape our way through that, but we also loved doing it. So yeah.
And obviously, I mean, it can be like reality TV is such a big thing at the minute, and I'm a slave to it. Like, I love watching a bit of, you know, for want of a better word, trash.
Yeah.
We call it garbage.
Garbage.
It's great, but like you love to hate it. Like
high quality trash.
High quality trash, exactly. And obviously, you know, there's a lot of big shows where people get loads of publicity, and it's so easy for us to be like, oh, they've got so much traction. I wish we had some of that. But, you know, I think whatever is in store in the future, I think, you know, we'll be happy playing the music that we have at any level, won't we? Like,
well, exactly.
We do it because we love it, not because we need the praise or the gratification.
Absolutely, you know, I think it's how you measure success, isn't it? It's how you measure success as a person, and I think you know, if we measure it by the fact that we can write our music, write our songs, and play them for people, and
if one person in that room enjoys it, then
exactly the fact that some people want to listen to it.
See, that's perfect, because you view music not as a source of income, which can almost dampen the whole meaning behind the music. You know, a lot of people can go for it, you know, just for the monetary value, and it loses that sentimental value, that feel that you put into it. And when you do it for the love of it, you put a lot more into it. And
absolutely, and I think.
But if anyone listening to this does want to pay us, we will take.
We'll take the money, but no, it's because you can get so tied up, especially with things, especially with streaming music now, and when you you know, when you Spotify and you've got your artist account, and you can literally sit there on your phone on the app and see how many people have listened to it, how many people are listening now, where they're listening, how old they are, you know, which part of the world they're in. Have they listened to your other songs? How many playlists you're on? Yeah. And you can become obsessed with the figures. And okay, we've had 3 more listens in the, you know, and it becomes an obsession. And actually, it ends up ruining the reason that you've done it. You know, we're so grateful to have had the opportunity to record an EP, and put it out there, and have the means and the time to be able to do it.
Because so many people don't.
So many people don't have that opportunity, and we're just so, you know, it's success for us to be able to go, we've done that. That's there now. We did that. We can all, you know, we're proud that we've done that. Yeah. And the fact that a few people want to listen to it is a bonus. Yeah. It's wonderful, because we just loved producing it and putting it out there, and we're so grateful and thankful for, you know, the support of our friends and family and people like yourself who have listened to it and enjoyed it and written about it and wanted to chat to us about it, and that's such a wonderful bonus to come out of it. Yeah. So
that's the reason why I love doing what I'm doing here, is because you get to experience this whole new world of music. And actually, when I used to listen to music, I used to listen to like the melody, and you used to just listen to and you'd feel the beat. But when you do the reviews and whenever you actually speak to the artists like yourselves, you actually get more involved and you feel more connected with the music. And that's what I love about music, is the connection and the whole imagining yourself in that situation. Now, when I was listening to Niagara Falling, I was just picturing myself at the base of Niagara Falls, looking at the scale of it, and just looking to like my partner next to me, thinking, "Wow, where are we?" And it's the imagery that I love, and the what you guys do. It's fantastic. Now, one thing I want to ask is, are you going to do some open mic nights in Cambridge?
That is the plan.
That is the plan.
That's the plan, baby.
Definitely. So yeah, we can't wait for the live music scene to start to reopen again, and people feeling safe that they can go out and be in groups and watch live music, because it's a wonderful social thing to bring people together. You know, when you're in a room full of people and you're all sharing this experience together, and you're all bonding with the music, and you know, what brings you all together is the music that you're watching and listening to. And yeah, we can't wait to be part of that scene in Cambridge. It's a place that we've the job has brought us to Cambridge. It's never a place that we'd been to or lived in before, so it's wonderful. We can't wait to explore this new city and the live music scene. And
it's going to be really good. And he won't say this, but Alex is great at open mics. Like, he is you're a really great host. And we've both been to open mics where there's like a clique already, and you feel like a bit of an outsider when you get there, or you like, you know, there is somewhere you've got to sign up weeks before, or you know, whatever. And I think one thing that Alex is really good at is making everyone feel very welcome. You know, I think, I mean, I'm excited as your partner to watch you connect with new musicians and create a platform for other people too, because not that, oh my gosh, like no one knows who we are, but like just to use your experience now to help other musicians, because there are loads of young people in Cambridge, you know, and it's a very musical, it's a really lively city, and whenever we go for walks, there's people just sitting in the fields, in the meadows, just with a guitar, you know, having a sing song. It's like something out of a film. It's so quaint, and I think I'm excited to watch that happen.
Got all right. How lovely!
Oh, bless.
But I think that's what I love about open mic nights. It's that chance to make artists feel welcome and create a network and a community and a place that you feel you can try something new, try some lyrics that often are very close to your heart, and you're really putting your heart on your sleeve. Yeah. And you need to know that the people around you aren't going to judge you. Yeah.
And that whatever happens, when you play that last chord, the room is going to cheer and clap and make you feel great.
You know what? There's nothing. One of my biggest bugbears in life, not just in music, is when you're in a venue. We've opened up a can of worms here. When you're in a venue, whether it be a restaurant or a pub or a bar or whatever it is, and there's live music playing, and that person finishes a song, and they're met with silence.
That must be horrible.
And we've played in bars and restaurants where you're playing background music. Yeah. You're there to create an atmosphere. Nobody's there to watch you. Nobody who walked into that bar that night for a cocktail or a meal knew you were going to be there or came because you were playing. You just happened to be there playing background music. And I get that you have been inflicted on those people, whether they wanted that or not. But it doesn't take much to clap after a song. Or even if it's not your kind of music, or you weren't really into it, or you didn't really want it to be there at all, like, to acknowledge that somebody has really put themselves out there and put their heart on their sleeve, and they're working as well. You know, it's a job for them. Yeah. And that might be their only income, that gig, that night.
Yeah, that's very true.
Just to give a little clap. And I feel, you know, I've been at open mic nights and gigs where somebody's finished a song, and I look around the room and nobody's even acknowledged that it's happened. And I'll make a point of, and one of the, you know what, I any open mic night I run, I have my phone just to record a few videos of them so I can share it and get them out. You know, I share it on social media, and if people missed it or want to find out who that person was, they can. But I'm always, I'm waiting at the end of the song to literally clap at the moment, that because you need that. You need to sometimes
it's like confidence boost.
It is, and because
Alex is a great renter crowd, but if we're out for drinks or whatever, and I see there's a musician, I'm like, I know he's going to do it, but in my head I'm like, oh no, because he literally on his own will be like, woo!
That's brilliant.
I will make a point of being, if nobody else does in the room, I'll make, because we've been there. We've been in restaurants where nobody does.
Have you seen that video that was going around at the start of lockdown about the clap? The NHS clap, and everyone's round to check that everyone. That's literally what he does. So he's passive aggressively eyeballing everyone to make, acknowledging that musician.
It doesn't take much, does it? And it is a big thing that's come up out of lockdown. A lot of industry, a lot of jobs have been underappreciated.
Yeah,
and we suddenly realise how much we need and how fortunate we are to have the NHS, all the key workers, our teachers.
Shout out to teachers.
Shout out to teachers.
Oh,
definitely.
Incredible job, especially people who are having to teach their class at home as well as homeschool their own kids and do all the other things that they need to do in life. It is incredible. But we've suddenly, we've been, reawakened to the fact that we underappreciate these professions, and also the arts. People, and this is what really riles me up when people don't clap in a pub or a bar. I know, I'm so sorry. We've gone off on a real tangent here.
I love it.
But when, you suddenly realise that everyone through lockdown, if they've been lucky enough to have a roof over their head and a TV, will quite happily binge watch a series of Netflix.
Or listen to Spotify all day. Or podcasts all day.
But the money needs to be there in the arts and in that industry, in the music industry, in the theatre industry, in the film industry.
Support that.
Museums.
Exactly.
If music and film and theatre and the arts are a huge part of our lives, it's what makes us human. We need that creativity in our lives. We all listen to music or listen to the radio or watch the TV or, and we've got to put the money in there and we've got to support the people who make the things that we watch and listen to.
But I think that's been quite eye-opening for people, especially in radio, for example. People are like, hang on a minute, where's that radio show gone? Well, surprise, it's a person that has to come into work and do their show and record that and make that happen. And my dad's a radio presenter, and there's so much work that goes into an hour-long show. It's 3 hours worth of prep, as you full well know, doing these podcasts. And I think it's a good thing in a way that we've had that feeling of, hang on a minute, Coronation Street's only doing 2 shows a week. What? Why? Because industries need the money to entertain us.
Absolutely, and I think it's incredible that people like yourself and radio presenters and community radio stations are still running from their homes, from their living rooms, their bedrooms. They've hung a sheet up to in the spare room to try soundproof, and these people are still making these stations and podcasts come out to us through this incredibly uncertain and stressful time. And it's an industry that has been overlooked and underappreciated, as well as many others have been. And I think, tying this all back to the original argument, I think the least we can do in a bar or a pub is clap. Just to acknowledge that they've been, even if you didn't enjoy it, just acknowledge that person is there doing it for you and to make ends meet. Yeah. Sorry, that got very political.
No. I love it. I love it. That just before we actually start the podcast, I always say to my artists and the guests, feel free to go on tangents, because that's what I love. I love these genuine stories, and that's your genuine emotion. I mean, I totally relate. I mean, all it takes is for one person, 5 people not to clap, and you'll notice it. And it could put you off from doing it in the future. It's
absolutely. If that's your first gig and you've really put yourself out there, it can absolutely knock your confidence. Because, like in anything, you automatically, I think it's human nature to be drawn to the negative.
Yeah.
How much you try and stop it. If you've done a show, we've both done stage shows, theatre, where you've got 5 good reviews and 1 bad review, and the bad review is the one that sticks with you.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're performing to a bar full of people or a pub full of people, and everyone's ignoring it, or somebody's making a snide remark to somebody, that's what you remember.
Yeah.
And you want young artists and young musicians who could be the future of music, or just love doing it, and they've put all their emotion out into this song, or this is the paycheck that's going to pay their rent. You just want to look at, know that people have just given a little clap and a smile. That really does make all the difference.
I think just being thankful of every, like, whenever I go into a supermarket now, the poor person that's on that front, what are the doors called?
The sliding doors.
Sliding doors, yeah. I just so important to the story. But that poor person that stood in that doorway, like having to police people coming in and out, or the people in the restaurant or wherever they are, any key workers, I literally am like, thank you so much whenever I'm going
absolutely
in, because that's like people are doing things that they've never had to do before.
Absolutely, it's so unprecedented, and they're putting themselves at risk.
Yeah, so just having that little connection of like, thank you so much. Those doors beep every time they open and close. That must be really annoying for you.
Yeah.
Raining outside, everyone's angry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kind person.
That could really make that person stay,
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, to go back to your point regarding like reviews and stuff, if you go to like the catering industry, I mean, I can speak for pretty much everybody here. When was the last time we actually posted a review for like a curry house or a pizza shop? It was a positive review. We're so quick to put a negative one on, let alone a positive. It's just simple things.
So true, isn't it? Just to, like you say, in the catering and in the hospitality industry, if you're slaving away, cooking meals, and you don't get any recognition,
or delivering meals,
but people will jump to say, "Or it was 5 minutes late," or it wasn't quite cooked the way I asked for it.
Honey, we're in a global pandemic. You have and everything's going to be okay.
Let that person. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we've become so.
We just want things instantly now.
We're really cynical.
Yeah.
We're quick, like you say. You've hit the nail on the head. We're really quick to criticise, but just reverse that energy and actually just let people know when they've done really well and acknowledge that somebody's put in the effort. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just cautious of the time because it's now 11:45 and you've got places to be. So what I'll do is I'll wrap up the actual music side of this podcast and I'll just throw the floor to you. Is there anything you want to add in last minute? Where can we find you on social media? That kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, great. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that'd be good.
So we are on all forms of social media, and we are Souvenirs UK because we think that we don't know who we are in the UK. So you can find us at Souvenirs UK, and I would like to take this opportunity to leave a review of the podcast today. And I've had a lovely time. 5 stars, 10 out of 10 would recommend to a friend.
Absolutely. It's been so lovely to chat to you.
Thank you, Alex and Lisa. It's been a pleasure talking to you. What I normally do now at the end of the podcast is ask a couple of questions regarding like food and drink and some debatish questions. I don't know if you've listened to it before or seen me on Twitter talking about this.
Absolutely, I have, yeah.
Now, Jaffa cakes, to you, are they a cake or a biscuit?
They're a sugary treat, I'll tell you that much. I think they're a cake.
I would argue they were a biscuit. So we've got a real division here.
I think I've just caused grounds for a split up here.
Could be. We could be living long distance again.
Who's going to China?
A biscuit. Yeah. Is a biscuit something you dip in your tea? Actually, you wouldn't dip a cake in it. Oh, I would dip a cake in my tea, actually. I'm really playing with fire there.
I would argue that a Jaffa cake is too thin and solid to be regarded as a cake, even though it has cake in the title. I think that's misleading.
But it's so.
I would say it was more like a biscuit. The shape of it, the kind of dimensions of it, the rigidity of it.
Okay, I'm going to put this out there. If you had nothing to sleep on, right?
I have no idea where this is going.
I have no idea either.
Would you rather use? Well, you'd use a Jaffa cake because
it's
like a cake and it's way more comfy than like a digestive.
Well, obviously there are levels of comfort of biscuit.
But that's it. It's a comfort. Like a cake
it's still
is
a biscuit.
Comfort.
Yeah, but you can't compare a Jaffa cake to a slice of carrot cake.
But it's not crunchy.
But it's also not soft and cakey.
It is soft in the middle. Are you crazy?
But you could say a jammy Dodger's got a soft, jammy centre.
I'm not into a jammy Dodger. No, thank you.
We could go this.
I love this.
I'd say biscuit.
I think a good measure of a cake is if you had it, could I rest my face on that cake and would it be comfortable? And a Jaffa cake would be far more comfortable.
This is the woman who could sleep anywhere at any time on anything.
Is that weird?
Wow.
It's true.
I love that.
I fall asleep instantly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never, ever. I've asked this question a couple of times now, and I've never heard the answer before.
I don't think you ever will again.
No.
I just look at the measure of things. Like, could I fall asleep on that? Could I fall asleep on a Jaffa cake? Yes, I could.
Alex, does that change your mind? Lisa's.
No, it hasn't. It's just confused me even more.
Second one is Marmite, yes or no?
No.
No, I wish it was, yes.
I've tried it again recently. I really wish that I could. We lived with one of the loveliest human beings in the world, Nat Braid.
She's so lovely.
In London. And she is from New Zealand, where Vegemite.
She's a champion.
Yeah, and she eats both Vegemite and Marmite. And there are jars and jars of it in the cupboards. And I recently said, and she was having it on crumpets and toast. And
she'd eat out of it with a spoon.
Everything. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I've not tried this since I was a child. Maybe I should give this a go. Maybe my taste buds have matured. Maybe it's like, red wine and olives and all the things that you were. No. Just no.
But I wish beyond wish I did.
I really like the idea behind it.
Yeah, I'd love to be one of those people. I feel like people that like Marmite have a bit of a superiority about them, and I just don't have that.
But I just no. So we can agree on that.
Yeah,
it's a no.
So we can all agree on.
We can all agree. Yeah, good, excellent.
The only time I'll ever eat Marmite if it's very, very, very thinly spread on toast, and I mean like so much that you could just not have it on there. Last one is regarding pizzas. Now, I told you just beforehand that I work for a certain pizza chain. I'm not going to say the name of the pizza chain because I talk about lots of food. Pineapple on pizza.
Every day.
Yes.
Good.
Next question.
Yes. Every pizza. Not even exclusive to a Hawaiian ham and pineapple.
We have it with tuna.
We make pizza all the time, don't we?
We have it with chorizo.
We make the dough. We have we pizza from scratch. We love, and we will put pineapple. We'll just chuck the contents of the fridge on it. So there is no combination of toppings that we will turn our nose apart.
Bit of fennel. We'll put that on.
Bit of fennel. Bit of sausage. Bit of tuna. Sweet corn. Everything.
Always pineapple.
But we love pineapple on pizza. Is an absolute yes.
We will. Like in a certain supermarket chain. That is an anagram of each other. And sometimes it's very difficult to... Do you know what I mean?
I've no idea, but let's...
and if you can't find a tin of pineapple, we will continue to look elsewhere. You'll go... I'll say, you need to ask someone where the pineapple...
Oh, yeah, if we decided we're going to make pizza and there's no pineapple in the cupboard, we'll just not bother.
We'll have beans on toast.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to know this supermarket, the anagram of each other. I'm trying to work it out.
No idea. I have no idea what.
They are, aren't they? Oh, maybe they're not an anagram of each other. No, they're not.
You can say the...
Lidl and Aldi, are they anagrams?
No, they're not quite.
Oh.
But...
Never mind, we'll
the
cut that bit
sentiment
out.
was there.
Well, Lidl doesn't have an A in it. Oh, yeah, it does. Oh, no, it doesn't.
Yeah,
no, it doesn't.
They're the kind of supermarket that sometimes they don't have the things that you need.
Yeah, or it's hidden away.
We will
in
then
a
have to go
strange
to
place.
another chain of supermarket. Other supermarkets are available.
Yeah.
To then try and hunt down a tin of pineapple.
Yeah, and sometimes it's in the baking, sometimes it's not.
Yeah, the pineapple's always.
Sometimes it's in the exotic aisle from places around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's in like the end of the aisle offers.
Yeah.
It's a real detective game that we play.
It's like somebody doesn't want you to find the pineapple for your pizza.
Yeah.
That is the frustrating thing with Lidl and Aldi. I mean, I love the prices. That's favourite.
With the prices.
And the middle of Lidl and the centre of Aldi, whatever that one's called.
Oh, yeah.
Spend hours.
Find things you
so
never
many
knew you needed.
Yeah, and still don't need, but bought anyway.
We were this close to buying some really fancy bed trays, weren't we? You know,
like
you can have your
breakfast in
dinner
bed
on.
trays.
Yeah.
$14.99. I'm
Bargain.
gutted.
It's a bargain. Because we all need one.
Go back. But yeah, pineapple isn't a definite yes on pizza.
Yeah.
All right then, everyone, you heard it here first.
Absolutely. We've just lost a lot of fans probably.
No, you'll have gained some.
Pineapple hating fans.
Oh, sorry, I've had a cough all throughout this episode. It's been really irritating.
You've done really well.
Thank you for coming on.
We would never have time.
Yeah, apart from because we're actually talking on FaceTime at the moment, everybody. So every so often I keep turning my head away, and it's like it's annoying. Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Lisa, for coming on. It's been a pleasure talking to you. It's been fantastic.
It's been so lovely. Thank you so much. We've had a really good time.
Yeah, it's been great.
What I'm going to have to do is try and organise like a live stream with you on when you release your EP.
That would be amazing. We'd love to do that.
Definitely.
That would be really cool.
It'd be a pleasure to have you on. I don't know whether to do a actual like a split screen like what I did with Rachel Selleck, or to have just a takeover. You know, I trust you guys.
Cool, we'll have a think.
Quick one before we go. We read that you were born in the West Midlands.
West Bromwich.
West Bromwich. Yeah. Lisa's from Birmingham.
Well, so Sandwell. It's kind of like the same.
Dudley. And your whereabouts around York are you living?
I live on the south side. I live in a little village between York and Selby.
Because I'm from Malton, between York and Scarborough.
Yeah, I used to cycle past Malton all the time because when I used to live in Leeds, I used to cycle from Leeds to Scarborough all the time.
There you go, straight through. Yeah.
So yeah,
there we go.
Small world.
What a small world.
It's lovely.
It was meant to be.
What was it like living in Malton before we go?
Great. I love it. It's such a wonderful place to grow up. Really beautiful, rural, market town. You know, North Yorkshire Moors and Yorkshire Dales, and you're close to York, beautiful city, and the coast, beautiful parts of the coast.
Great food as well. It's
great
all
food.
artisanal.
Yeah, great food markets there, great pubs, great people.
Castle Howard around the corner, Eden Camp around the corner.
Beautiful places to go. Yeah, love going back to Malton. We love going back to Yorkshire. Home,
You see, you should have just moved straight up to Malton rather than Cambridge.
We should.
Right, cancel all our plans.
Back up
just
to Malton.
Move up here just for me. I need to let you guys go because it's now 6 minutes to 12.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you all next time. Take care for now, everybody. Bye-bye.
That was the Country Chat Podcast. Join Dom next time for exclusive interviews, reviews, and general chit-chat on all things country music.